I mean, so I don't know.
What's up,
like
everybody?
I don't like Canner as much. I do worry about him getting run off the court, and he's
to
50.
join me in a minute. Sorry for the background noise. Was listening to some of the RG folk. We've got an interesting little slate here, to say the least. I think a lot of guys are going to crush. I'm trying to figure out the most optimum way to do this. I would love you guys get your questions in chat, get your thoughts out there. Like, this is a place for this is our little community, so like get your thoughts out there. We want to hear from you. Happy to have you guys watching, and yeah, I'm going to go through my lineups on DK, on FanDuel, on everything, and we'll go from there, I guess. Still waiting on Sheets for some reason.
I'm here.
There he is. Sheets. Can you guys give us let us know if you can hear Sheets. Sheets, can you talk again for a second?
That's for sure.
What's that?
They'll totally be able to hear me.
You're a little quieter than usual. What's happening over there, Sheets?
I don't know.
Is this 100? You played 150 lineups? Is that what's going on?
I am going to do that.
All right, I'm already on it. Unfortunately, I've got a feeling I've got some big pivots to make at some point. So no Deadman, which means absolutely nothing, even though some other folks will tell you that it does. Guys, what's going on? What's up, Koss? I'm having a little hair of the dog moment at the moment. It was a fun night with the RG, but off of a cleanse, all the people. I'm sorry, with DraftKings. Off of a cleanse, drinking and having people buy you shots is fun and great and all that. Actually, not buying me shots. I guess it was just free shots because we had a suite. But anyway, I'm feeling the effects a little bit today. So we got some questions popping in already. You guys are skipping RG to watch me. I appreciate that, Joe. Yeah, this is the real stuff. You're watching my actual lineups. This is what we're going for. I've got a new show coming out on Monday at 2. I can't tell you who it's for yet or what it is, but it's coming. And Sheets and I will continue doing our videos. We'll continue doing some live streams. But I also have a new show with a new site that I'm in the works with. I feel comfortable saying that. Sheets, how you doing over there, man? What are your thoughts on this slate? What's going on?
And this is hard to it's like so hard to get this right, like the way you really want it. I mean, a lot of props out. Well, on the one hand, a lot of props out to the people. Ooh, I lost your audio.
You lost my audio.
Oh, now you're back.
Okay. That's what I'm talking.
So for the people that do this every night, a couple of things I would say. First of all, I guarantee you that there's no way they're behaving as efficiently as they should be, because when I run these scripts, oh, you're going in and out again. But
how am I going in and out? I'm not even talking.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, you know what? You're right, because I'm actually seeing you on a little bit of a delay, so I see you talking 15 seconds ago. All right, fair enough. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is kind of like lead myself towards getting some of the mini stacks that I want, like within the 150 lineups, and then probably like half of my 150 lineups are going to be just scripted to have, like I'm going to have a couple like Conley, Lillards. I'm going to have a few of those Indiana, Toronto guys that we talked about, and when I'm probably going to do like half my lineups based on those kind of, mini rules and boosts and stuff. And then the others are just going to be based on exposures. And I'm just going to see where that kind of leads me. And then hopefully with like 20 minutes till post time, I'll be able to eyeball, like what I'm left with as far as what my exposures are, and see if I need to kind of tweak along the way. But this is hard.
Yeah, it's a hard slate. It's what's hard is that you're going to have to forego a lot of really good plays, which is frustrating. And it's tempting to want to spread out real thin, which I actually did a little bit more than I thought I was going to in the 150 max, but I didn't do it at all in my 2 555s, my 2 444s, my 10 55s, and my 4 5 66s on FanDuel. I pretty much stuck with my guns from what we talked about earlier.
How big is your player pool?
I mean, what kind of a question is that? I don't know. My player pool is everyone, but
no. How big your 150 in your run? How many players are you using?
Oh God, I use a little bit of a million people in these situations.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. With this much variance that's going on, I love it. So I keep a tight core, but then I just spread it out to the other guys for the most part. Although so what's happening is basically 75% of the money I've invested tonight are dedicated towards like a group of 15 players, maybe 12.
Okay.
And then I've got a bunch of other wild cards that I'm sort of rolling with, in the 15 to 20-ish% range. A lot of them you'll see as we go through some of these builds. I'm just keeping an eye out because I have a feeling we're going to see some news. And there's one piece of news that's really important that no one is really talking about, and it's whether Hassan Whiteside plays or not. It's a
I didn't even know that was in the offing.
When you're downgraded to questionable. Now it hurt us last time, but I like making these gambles. And I'm looking at them playing Utah, and I'm looking at Caleb Swanigan as the only person who, and don't get me wrong, it's not like he can guard Gobert, but Caleb Swanigan is going to have to eat up 1 million minutes. So what I'm doing in some places is, first of all, Caleb Swanigan's been getting 10 to 20 minutes anyway, 12 to 24. I've got it called up on my screen right now. This is if there's no Whiteside against a Jazz team, if this game might stay close, even if it doesn't, like, how is he not going to play 26 minutes plus? Like, who else can they possibly run out there? I honestly can't even figure out. Are you going to play Ariza on Gobert? Like, that's
no. I don't believe that it's fair to put to throw Moses Brown out there. If he's still even on the roster, I'm not even looking at the projections.
I don't even know who Moses Brown is.
Oh, you don't?
No, I know who he is. I just don't think he's playing at all anymore. I mean, at least I haven't. I literally haven't seen him on a court, and I've seen him on a court maybe one time ever.
Yeah, he got a few minutes a few weeks ago. I just follow him because I used to play AAU against him, so I kind of know his whole story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he went to Archbishop Malloy out here, and he went to UCLA for a year, and then he left. He declared once, what's his name? Alford got fired, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to the NBA. And it was a really terrible move too. I mean, like, he needed a lot of season. The guy can't shoot at all. But
I mean, he's in the NBA. Can't ever
sure is
hit on someone for that.
Sure
I mean,
is.
no, but I mean, like, literally, we're talking about, like, are you gonna put Carmelo on Gobert? How's this gonna work? So I'm just seeing a guy who, unless they try to reach and maybe play Hazonia as a stretch five, but even that against Gobert doesn't really make sense. So who do we have? Like, I'm looking at
they could play like PJ Tucker. You know what I mean? Like,
they don't have PJ Tucker.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
But that PJ Tucker is a unique individual that allows you to play a center. I just want to say something about why Houston made this move. I'll take a little break. I know it's a big slate, but guys, you know what? This is free content, so we're going to talk a little bit about regular basketball too while you see my lineups. Houston made the move. So they've got guys who play the virtual center. They've got now Covington, they've got Tucker, and they've got as bad a defender as much as we get on Harden for his trouble with guards. This guy is legitimately one of the better post defenders in the NBA. I know that sounds weird. He guarded Blake Griffin, did a great job in the series back in the day against them when they played the Clippers. He's done it against when Blake was actually good. He's done it against a lot of bigs, and they have 3 post defenders that just happen to be wings, and a guard and Harden. And then you've got Westbrook, who plays like a center. So they do a lot of, he's obviously not playing tonight, but they do a lot of things that they're able to do because they have these flexible type of players on defense. And they're still going to get crushed by DeAndre Ayton, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But overall, PJ Tucker is I don't see him against, if it was a 6'10 center who was good, I wouldn't say this is a great matchup or anything. PJ Tucker is as good a defender as you pretty much have in the NBA. Probably the most versatile defender outside of maybe Kawhi, but even Kawhi doesn't play center. Anyway, just wanted to point that out real quick. You can see this lineup build that I'm going through right here. This is not one of my favorite lineups. This is going for a little bit of a mini Memphis stack here. I think Melton. So this Crowder stuff, I'm starting to like Melton more and more as I think about the day. I think this might be a good time for them to let him get going. So I don't love him. I have him in one of my 4 big lineups, I think, but on DK. But I don't. I do want to have some exposure. I want some exposure to Simmons against a team that doesn't rim protect at all. And then I want to play some, as bad as it feels to play people against Philly. Like, these guys are just too cheap with the upside that they have at no ownership. The problem is, and you're going to need that upside tonight, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to play Jaren Jackson to get me 38. He can do that. I want him to go out there and get me 50, which he hasn't done in a long time. This guy's, he can have a big game here against what I think might be a lethargic Philly team after what happened last night. I'm actually worried about playing Ben Simmons in my big ones, which is the reason I'm not, is because he is quite simply like just way it's too fragile to play a player to me who played 43 minutes at point guard the night before against the fastest team in the NBA. You know what I mean? 42 minutes.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's but you know, like, will he crush this team? He absolutely should crush this team. So Abra brought up a question in chat before about Porzingis versus Ayton, and here we have it right here. So in this particular lineup, I'm going with Porzingis. Overall, I have a very similar ownership on both, but I'm heavier on Porzingis. I feel better about him and safer with him.
You're actually close in ownership between those two.
Yeah, I really like the under.
That's a really big stand, you know.
I'm making a stand a little bit on Ayton. I mean, I've got of right now, I've got him in 2 out of my 4 big lineups. Now that's a huge stand. I mean, that's because like he's going to be what 7 to 10% owned. You think?
Yeah, you know, it goes to our thing. Like, so what percentage you have of him right now?
I'll take a look in a second. I know what I programmed him for, but it's not the percentage I have of him. It's the percentage of the big buy-ins that I have of him.
Okay, I got you.
So I've got him a lot more in those. Now, what worries me about having him are the players just above him that I love and the players just beneath him that I love. But I understand the love for Tatum. I want to just make this clear. I would be the first one singing this. I have a feeling he ends up like in the big buy-ins 50%. I really do. And I think he gets 45 enough where you can get away with not playing him. I'm not playing James Harden on DraftKings in my big buy-ins. I'm playing him in some of the 55s, not in the 555s. I, at the moment, was forced into a Beal, and you can see my lineups here. I mean, so I basically went through what I do is after we do the show early in the day, I go through my percentages, and I just try to build a team out of my favorite players, my top percentages. It came shockingly easily to me today to do that. So I could do it in a number of different ways. So I decided eventually I'm going to play Dragic and Nunn together in one of my big lineups on FanDuel. Partly gave me the justification for not doing it in both my lineups on DraftKings. Now, I've been burned by this before because look, the rest of the lineups aren't the same, but they're coordinated enough, and you'll see. So what I do is I do that, and then I try and get a little bit of coordination. So you can see here, I don't have a monster stack of any kind exactly. This is my favorite plays, but I do have enough of one to make it at least something with the Oladipo versus Siakam, who I genuinely think there's an outside chance you can get like 90 from these guys. That's a real possibility in my head. Call me crazy. I have just Cantor and Smart together here. I don't want to go crazy with too many Boston guys without a Trae Young run back, but I also don't want to ignore the situation. So I've got Smart over here and Cantor. You can see I'm not playing Tatum in this lineup as well, but I'm playing Porzingis, and then I went down to this is the one I have none in. And then I've got my wild card play and the run back against Porzingis with Beal, who I think is going to be just unowned, basically. I'm interested in these guys because what happens is if Harden gets 75, my bet is, let's just say he does. My bet is somebody from the 7 to 10 point, what should we call it, 10.1K range, 10.2K range. My bet is one of those guys gets 70. Now, I would rather gamble on taking those guys, the ones that I like, than I would on taking a really chalky James Harden who, even when he smashes, is not smashing enough for his price when you take into the fact that we don't necessarily... We have interesting speculative value. We don't really know about our super value. Oh, we have no TJ Warren.
That sucks.
You know what sucks about that?
You want to know why? Because I was about to say that I have like Oladipo's like my 4th highest owned player, and
that's so annoying to me.
Man, now people are gonna play him.
So frustrating. It's so frustrating, and it's, you know what? It's really so insignificant. Like if it was Brogdon, it would be significant. You know what I mean? Like so much more. Yep. He's gonna go off. Like I mean, oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's get TJ Warren out because I kind of liked him as well. You can see I have him in a few lineups. Now these are mostly in small buy-ins. I think I only had him in one of my $55, and I'm very happy. I have a very nice 2 pivots that I can go to. Actually 3. Actually, 4. There's a lot of guys in this range. The wild card one that I'm just going to throw into a few tournaments because I'm playing a lot of. I have a rule with one Miami player in every lineup, I think. So
you'd probably get those anyway.
What's that?
If you didn't make any rule, you'd probably end up with one Miami guy anyway in every lineup.
Yeah, fair enough. But I don't think it's absolutely like a beyond necessity because of how many points are going to be scored tonight. Usually, I would say you need to. I don't think you need to play anybody tonight, and that's why I'm sort of just like I'm getting way off the chalk. I actually think that my avoiding of Harden is enough, along with my other plays. But I'm not. I'm going even further because, I mean, look, man, we're trying to win giant tournaments. It's hard to win tournaments. I'm giving myself a chance to even be a little bit wrong and get there. So I'm going to play.
What do you think? What do you think of Kelly Olynyk tonight?
I like him. Okay. It's a speculative play. It's a tournament. It's a great tournament.
Yeah, I have a little too much. The only thing that's if they do decide to play Crowder and like this other, whatever, it could squeeze his minutes a little bit for sure.
Sure. Yeah, I'm open to that. Wait, if they play Crowder,
yeah,
he's out.
He's definitely out.
What did I miss here? Because didn't we get the word earlier that Crowder wouldn't be playing tonight?
No, you could be right. Okay.
I could be wrong though too. Hold on, let me double check on this one because I thought this was. I'm completely operating under that assumption.
No, I was. I just,
okay, good. He's not in the player. He's not in the player pool. I'm going to take a look real quick at the starting lineups page. In the meantime, Sheets, do you mind if you could see any questions there in chat if you let us know or any thoughts?
So Gabe Vincent, I don't think is necessary tonight. JT Grizzle saying Cantor chalk on FD gonna fail. Okay, let me give you an alternative. You know what I mean? Like if you really think that Cantor chalk on FanDuel is going to fail, and he's going to be really really popular, you could, if you want to keep the rest of your lineup the same, you could pivot to Steven Adams as we were talking about earlier. It's certainly not the greatest spot in the world, but if you want to keep the rest of your lineups intact, and you really did have that opinion that Cantor is going to fail, then there's a really easy way for you to back up that opinion without reconstructing all that much. So again, I happen to disagree. I don't necessarily think he's going to fail, but who the hell am I? What do I know? There's certainly a percentage that he fails, and a certain percentage that he doesn't.
Plenty of percentage that he fails. Having said that, I've got him in 2 of my 4 big lineups at the moment. I'm not saying that I love it. That's where I'm at the moment. Still waiting to see how other things develop as the day continues. I do think that Vincent is in play. I think it's a very long shot play that has some merit to it. I think that this guy is a gunner. Like, he's going to take 10 plus shots in 20 minutes. And if he gets an upside on that, if he starts making some of those shots, that guy is going to stay out there. This is what they do. I mean, like, they don't have a lot of other choices. So he's like an interesting pivot if you're not going to play one of the other guys in the lineup that you can sort of go with here.
All right, I want to answer this question. So Cody's saying, thoughts of last game, is it a fade? Well, I will say this, that, I mean, again, this is just my opinion. For me, it's probably where I have the most leverage in the entire slate. I have a full 20% of Lillard. I have a full 20% of Conley. I have some stuff with Conley and Lillard. I have some stuff with Gobert. I have even a few things with Mitchell where I don't really like to play Mitchell. I think that this could be a real low-owned way to freaking win the entire thing. So I'm not going to be fading. I mean, I think that there are better games to cross off than that one.
Are you looking at my screen by any chance right now?
No. Oh, there I am.
So,
oh my God,
so I have 50% Lillard on FanDuel and I have 26% on DraftKings.
Okay, so I have 20, which is fine by me. Yeah, okay,
and I'm also running him in 2 of my 4 big ones at the moment. I'm still like, my whole plan was to spend on all these 8K guys, But then when I just realized the upside of Lillard and the lack of ownership, I still think I might be flawed. And so what I did is I went for this is my other major lineup on DK. I went for the home run swinging, going for the ultimate value, weird values situation with Olynyk and Swanigan. I don't know that I'm going to, obviously I need news on that Swanigan situation, but I think I'm willing to take a shot because I really think like he's got he's going to play 14 minutes without this. He might play 28 minutes. Like I I don't know, man. It's just I don't know who else they're gonna play. So unless we start seeing them try to do a Houston and put Carmelo at the 5 or something against Gobert of all people. I mean, first of all, actually, you know what's funny is that that's the team that Houston first did this with. So maybe that is what they'll do.
That's really funny.
But I still like this. And then you see, I went the chalky. I think Covington's under-owned tonight, is my opinion. I think that I also like Eric Gordon. I even like Harden. Don't get me wrong. It's just I just feel like there's a lot of other ways to build your lineups, and I feel like Rudy Gobert can get me 50. I feel like Kelly Olynyk has an upside of definitely 30 plus. I think the same for Swanigan. I really think it's there for them. I mean, we don't know what Miami's going to do without Butler and Hero, like the guys who initiate so much of the offense. You would think Dragic, Olynyk, Nunn, all these guys. I mean, obviously even Jones are just going to have more usage. Lillard, obviously we talked about him, and you're running it back with Gobert, so you get a little correlation there. I have Tatum alone in this lineup. Oh, and I have Mitchell in this one too. I don't have much Mitchell. I decided to gamble with him on one lineup just because literally I liked the rest of my lineup, and he not only did he fit with my stack. I really actually liked him here, so I thought it worked out really well for me. Like if you can get from Lillard, if you can get one of those 70 pointers and 50, you can literally get 50 from Covington, from Gobert and Mitchell, given the right circumstances.
That's true.
So if you get 180 out of them, let's say, or sorry, if you get not 180, that would be really nice. But if you get 150 out of them, 145, 140, that's a good start right there. Like, you know what I mean? And if you can get your value to hit with 30 each, you're talking about 200. You're looking at Tatum, and you're I mean, literally he's projected for like 50. So let's call him 60 or 50, but whatever. He's gonna be high on. And then you get your Dragic and Covington. I'm counting. Let's get 40 out of Covington, or 35 at least, and then get 40 out of Dragic, and all of a sudden you're in the 320. So that's not good enough to win yet, but it's look. That's not talking about.
You're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, it's just the way that. And then on the other lineup, I look at it like that. How much do I need from Nunn? I think that I'm going to ask for 30 plus from Nunn. I think that seems very reasonable. Porzingis, I need 50 plus. Marcus Smart, I'm going to need 35 to. What I like about him is I think he gets 35 here mostly, but I think occasionally there's like a 55 in there. He's got that kind of upside. Then you've got Enes Kanter. You're asking for 35. Maybe I'd even pivot off of Kanter here. I have less Kanter than the field, but still too much of him. Okay, and I have a ton of Siakam tonight. I think I'm.
Yeah, I have like a full, I think 24% of Siakam on DraftKings.
Yeah, and you can see currently my highest owned player is Oladipo at 35%, which is going to be 50%. And honestly, in terms of money, it's like 80% that he's on.
Right.
He's in my big buy-in tournaments. I'm full on the Oladipo train. Unfortunately, we're going to get some other members of that train. The Anthony Melton can get us 30 here at 3,700. It's definitely in the cards that it's possible. I'm not saying he's going to. So if I get my not even full ceiling games out of these guys, I can still get to 340. If I get my full ceiling, we're talking like you can approach 400 with this lineup. And I do like the Beal Porzingis run back. I think on these kind of slates, like look, you end up that game runs into overtime or something happens in a game that could be close, or even just a tight game down the stretch. That's where all of the usage is going. There's nobody else. Even McRae's gone now. You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen? So is Isaiah Thomas. Bradley Beal is not going to be owned tonight, and he's going to go out there, in my opinion, score 60-plus fantasy points. I would actually be, if I had to bet the over-under on a 55 from Bradley Beal, I would bet the over, just on a 50-50 bet. And I would bet that, I don't know, I think at least 30% of the time here, maybe a little bit less. But no, probably 30%. I think he gets to 70. I really do. So I only have him in a little bit of my lineups because you don't need to be much to have him ahead of the field. And again, tons of great plays in the 8K range, but I do happen to have him in one of my 555s right now. Just going over to FanDuel, you can see. Can you see my whole lineup over here? You can't see the whole thing. I don't think. Let me shade this over a little bit.
I think it will once it's
Dragic. Yeah, so basically, I've got Dragic and Nunn in one with Harden and Hield. So I played Hield in one. Look, that's a flyer, but that's a flyer with like massive upside that can win you a tournament, right? Like you got a guy legit with 50-point upside in every game that he steps on the floor. He's 5,300, going to be completely unowned, and he can have a bad game and get you 30 and still keep you in there at least to make some money. James Harden. Actually, by the way, getting 30, you could still win a tournament with him getting 30. Actually, if the other, unfortunately, this shooting guard is strong in this price range. But anyway, there's a lot of things that could go right for Buddy Hield tonight, and no one's going to play him. And that Miami defense is not the same as they are currently constructed at this moment. James Harden is a much better play on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings for a lot of reasons. The prices are easier to fit everything you want in, basically. He's going to be chalkier. That makes sense. I'm going to eat some of that chalk and play him in one of my big ones, and then 2 of my other ones. So basically, call him in 3 of my 5 big buy-ins on FanDuel, but one of my 2 really larger buy-ins. I also like Carmelo Anthony's upside. I think shooters against Utah. I don't like the back-to-back. I don't like a lot of things about this, but I like that he's 5,100 and that he's got upside, and that if you beat Utah, you beat him from the outside, and that Utah, since with Mike Conley, Utah is I'm going to go out there and say it. If Mike Conley's going to play 30 minutes, we don't get to call this a great defensive team anymore. I don't even know if they qualify as good anymore. Mike Conley cannot move laterally enough to keep up with these guards anymore. And he's playing great offensively, so they're going to have to keep playing him. So anyway, my opinion is it shifts the whole defense around. I like Carmelo. I like Lillard, obviously. So Carmelo is even a little bit, not a hedge, but like he's another play I like anyway. I like Harris a lot at 6,200. I think he makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. Even with Josh Richardson back, might lower his ownership a little. Tatum, obviously, a little logical chalk. Ruri, I think, is going to be completely overlooked. It's 4,400. And I think we got a guy there's a guy who can get you 10x if it goes right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was actually just putting him in to FanDuel as we speak, actually.
More likely 8x, but could be that. Trae Young is now doubtful. Okay, well, that changes a lot of things.
Trae Young is now doubtful.
Okay, guys, well, you're going to see it. You know what's funny is that, oh, my God, I think I might have too many lineups to where I can't do this live right now. Shoot. I'm going to take a quick look at the stream. You guys get some questions in before we get out of here.
So let's talk about it. So what that's going to mean is that Teague and or Goodwin are both plays.
Oh, God, this always happens.
Collins is I'm just trying to think this out. Herter remains a really, really good play.
Yeah.
On FanDuel.
I still don't think...
I would almost say he's a lock.
I mean, it's hard to call someone a lock when you've got Oladipo right there and Smart right there and Hield right there. There's upside in all those guys that could crush Herter.
That is true.
So, I need to update my projections. It's going to take me a second. Okay, let me go to
6:30. They give you a Trae Young doubtful.
Jesus.
Boy, oh boy.
Boy, if he ends up playing, you know how much I'll be angry.
Oh my God! You think that's possible?
I mean, it's unlikely, but it happens. It happened the other day. Shit. So let me just see real quick. Let's go. Who are we gonna play? So that makes Jason Tatum a much worse play. That makes Marcus Smart a much worse play. That makes
because of the blowout risk now. You mean?
Yeah. I mean. The truth is, I don't believe in Trae Young as a basketball player, so why am I going to say that they're... I mean, I think he's fine, like, whatever. You're never going to win a title with that guy. But he's a great fantasy guy. So without him, I can't get the minutes updated yet. I'm really trying to figure out how they're going to spread this out. I think you're going to see a lot of Brandon Goodwin and Jeff Teague. I think that Brandon Goodwin's an interesting tournament play.
I wonder who they're going to start. Who they're going to start? I guess Teague, right?
You would think, but that doesn't mean he'll get the minutes necessarily. So let's take a look at this real quick. Okay, so first of all, let's do the first obvious thing and find all my Trae Youngs and get rid of. Unfortunately, I've got too many now. Ugh.
Yeah, I got to go check. I don't think I have that many. I only have like 8% of them, I think.
That means a little more Lillard for me.
I guess so, right?
I mean, just in the $4, and I'm not going to. It's not that I don't care to go through them all. I'll go through them. I go through them as the games go. My editing process goes up until 10:30 Eastern, or whatever the last game is. That's the way that you do it, in my opinion. At least that's whatever. That's the way I do it. I don't think it's the way to do it. It's just the way I do it. So we want to get. Okay, so we need Trae. Oh, we didn't get him out of all of them. It's just going to be Trae. This is a very simple. This one's going to be for Bradley Beal because it's the guard spot. Get a little more Beal exposure. And by the way, if Whiteside's out, also, I just want to add that probably does help Lillard some. You know what I mean? First of all, it adds rebounds to the team that are not going to be otherwise there, so it adds some triple-double upside potentially, where he doesn't get the rebounds, and people don't look at stuff like that nearly as much as they should. So that's kind of interesting. By the way, an interesting pivot from Cantor on FanDuel is, and I haven't played him yet, I haven't made that switch, but I think I'm going to, is PJ Tucker. He's a center on FanDuel now. The only thing that worries me is that if he smashes, the upside's really like 40, you know what I mean? But Cantor probably even has a little bit higher. And then actually Steven Adams has the highest legitimate ceiling. That's the funniest part, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cantor per minute, but Adams per, minutes. For the overall minutes. Okay, so we got Trae Young out. I'm going to have to make a bunch of swaps. I'm going to see real quick. I'm going to take a quick look at the live stream.
Yeah, I'm looking really quickly at DraftKings. This is a different site. This is not RotoGrinders or whatever. But both those guys, Goodwin and Teague, are just really jumping off the page.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. And people were laughing and making fun of us and laughing in our chat about the Goodwin thing. But, I'm not saying I love to do this. I'm just saying this is what's happening. This is the world we live in. Somebody's going to have to play these minutes. There is no DeAndre Bembry anymore. They're missing everybody. It's weird. They're going to get smoked. Wow, their point total.
Don't be so sure though.
I know you get these weird rally games. It's what it makes me. Look, somebody's gonna have to shoot the ball. I think it gives a boost to DeAndre Hunter, which is weird because I literally
or Vince Carter season.
I was thinking about it, but I don't think it's his last game in Boston yet.
Okay.
I need these minutes. These minutes are certainly not accurate. We
just need a few more minutes.
Let's see. Mavericks will start Brunson, Lee, Hardaway, Finney-Smith, Porzingis. I love Porzingis at the 5, buddy. Man, he's gonna just absolutely. Honestly, that should have been my lock of the day before because I don't see how Porzingis is getting less than 50 tonight. What's the scenario that happens without an injury? What would it take? If he shoots 20%, he still probably gets 50. He's going to have 5 blocks tonight.
Yeah, it looks like they updated Teague's minutes, but not so much. Well, they still giving Goodwin 24. Is that enough?
That's probably closer to what I thought. I've got him at 21, but I've got Teague at 21 too.
I got Teague at 33 and 25.
There we go. Now I've got it. Yeah, just the points projection haven't updated. Teague is now obviously a terrific tournament play. The problem is the blowout. So I think Goodwin all of a sudden is massively in play. I really do. If this game blows out in any way, and just even if it doesn't, he's going to get the minutes anyway. So the Sixers are starting Simmons, Milton, Harris, Horford, Embiid. We know that that's normal lineup. Oladipo's in. Okay. Take a quick look at the chat real quick, and then I'm going to go back to my lineups. Wow, we got a bunch of questions. We got to get all these. I gotta catch up on these. Gobert as a center on FanDuel and fade Cantor. Yes, I think that's a really good tournament play, especially if you're playing Lillard. And I would suggest you do play Lillard if you're going to play Gobert, hoping that game stays close, especially if there's no Whiteside. So I really like, and with no Whiteside, by the way, Gobert should get a 500,000 rebounds. So I'm still high on Oladipo. Yes. Fading Enes Kanter on DK completely makes sense to me. I have less of him in the field, but I have some of him because I think he's going to hit. I think he's going to pay off. Gabe Vincent, I like that play. I told you that is a long shot play, although I like it much less now because I think that Goodwin is a better play. So Goodwin now takes over any Gabe Vincent love that I had, which was very little anyway. Thoughts of the last game? You said you brought that one up about it being a fade. I really like the last game, and I think you gain a ton of edge, especially because we hear things like, "Hey, Trae Young is out." So the more players you can get, the better off you are. The problem is you still want to play the best players overall. Trae Young out. Yeah, we got that one. Goodwin, LOL, but look, Goodwin is a play. Wood or Cantor, they're not the same price and anywhere near. So I'm not finding any of that question come up. I don't even know how that could come up, Wood or Cantor.
Wood or Cantor?
Yeah. Christian Wood is like 7,000, isn't he?
Yeah, that is totally different situation.
Yeah, and honestly,
Wood is not bad on DraftKings. 6,000.
6,000 on DraftKings. It's just to me, when I say the wrong slate, I only mean because there are plenty of guys at between 6,900 and 80 and 9K who are going to score 50 fantasy points. That's what's going to happen. So do I need to take that risk today? Probably not. Although, you know what? He could be one of those guys. Like, he has that upside. I just don't think I need to take that risk today. Meanwhile, I'm willing to take this Caleb Swanigan risk just because I've seen too many guys move down to questionable before. So what I want to do here is, like, what are my players? Let's take a look at my players real quick. I want to take a look to see if I want to make any just mass moves. Now, I don't have a ton of players in the 4,700 price range, I don't think. So I do want to get some exposure to Teague, and this is mostly for my small tournaments because I'll go hand it at the other ones. Which doesn't give me a whole lot more time on this show. But, so the natural thing, so it probably lowers the ownership of Kendrick Nunn. I think Ish Smith is now going to be out of play for me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And by the way, I think Ish Smith very likely can put up 30 fantasy points here tonight. I just, there's other plays. That's all I can get to you. Even with all my lineups, I cannot get enough of the guys that I want. It's just an impossible day. Like, it's one of those days where I wish our lineups, we could build 25-man lineups because they're a great place. Favorite shooting guard on FanDuel. I think Harden is harder to fade over there, as I mentioned earlier. So he's actually the one I have the most exposure to. But I love Olive, Depot, Smart, and Hield in that little group. I still like Smart a lot, but I like him a little bit less with Trae Young out. And obviously, I've got to get Trae Young out of these lineups. There it goes, man. I really like these lineups. I love the originality of the Trae Young and Lillard, which is just, I felt like I was looking at 120 points from my backcourt right off the bat without even having to worry. That's what I felt like tonight, but not to be. And it built in everything perfectly. I wanted to fade Tatum in one, and I had the perfect amount to fit in exactly Sabonis. Oh man, this is a real bummer. And there's not even like anybody else I could even pivot to. Like, it's a real bummer. I think that, you know what it does for me? It means, Cantor, you're out, buddy. You're out of one of my lineups. You're out of one of my big ones. It does mean that I think I do like the Gobert play better, and I like the speculation of Gobert, especially because we aren't going to know about Hassan Whiteside probably. And Gobert obviously becomes a better play if there's no Hassan Whiteside. Now, what I would like to do is have a little bit more, the guy I don't have exposure to at all, I might have to nix Hardaway out of here, who I liked a lot, and play a little bit of Oubre, because I did feel like he was the one guy I really wanted that I wasn't getting to. And then, it almost gets me right to where I can reach for my guy. I'll take Nunn, I guess, but at least for now. I mean, I'm still counting on there being news in the next 20 minutes because there always is. I actually like the idea of playing DeAnthony Melton as a really, like, he's going to be 0% owned over here, and we'll have ownership on fit. And it's a long shot play, but we don't know what this new system is, and if it's to even like maybe they're going to actually show him a little bit more. I mean, they're missed Crowder. That's a lot of minutes. You know what I mean? That's the one thing Melton was missing was minutes. It wasn't production. So
that's true.
Let's just think maybe if he gets I'm not saying he will, but there is an upside for 30 plus minutes. So while I like him over here though for this particular build, I think I've got to leave it like this. I feel better about the eliminating Cantor. I like the running Gobert and Rubio. I'm sorry, Gobert and Lillard. Now I have Gobert and Lillard also on DraftKings, so I might want to shake something up, and I also definitely want to shake up my other guard spot over here. So now that I'm playing Nunn over there, even though I was going for the little bit of the mini stack with Hield over here,
yep.
While Hield can win me a tournament, I told you there's one other guy who's going to win somebody a tournament soon, and I kind of want to get him in as my point guard. So it's going to take me 1 second here. Here we go. And it makes me the Carmelo thing though. It's a little bit of a weird one. Lots of rebound upside for Carmelo with no Whiteside if he's out.
Well, that's what I was going to say. When you were talking about who's going to play the five, that's where I was going to suggest was that probably what's his name? Like you said, Carmelo would probably end up playing the five.
Yeah, it seems a little bit too lengthwise. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But you know, we've seen this happen before. I want to do this, so let's see. I don't necessarily need to have Hield, so I can do exactly what I just said and just pivot exactly over to Melton. The problem is I really like Ricky Rubio.
Yeah, I kind of need a little more Goodwin, I think.
I mean, this would be the balls out play, right? There's nobody playing in Melton on
FanDuel?
Nobody.
No. I think that's the idea.
I think this is what I have to do, though. It just makes too much sense to do this exact pivot that I'm just doing right here. Don't you think? Like, you'll see it in a second. I think you'll be a fan of this one.
Well, you already have enough. You have the Healed with Healed and Anthony is going to be.
No, I'm out on Healed now. I switched it up.
Oh, you switched that up. Okay.
Because I didn't want to play none in both lineups. I still believe in none. I just think there's upside for enough other guys where I'm willing to get. I told you earlier today, like I like some variance at this, and I also think that I can make a case here for. I think Jones is actually probably going to be more popular than Anthony, don't you think?
Jones?
I don't think it matters here because my lineup is fine enough. So I've got the game stack here. I've got the Houston Phoenix a little bit. I've got the DeAndre with Rubio. The question is, why am I not just jumping up and getting Embiid and dropping down Carmelo? And it's a good question. I think I may do that. I think that's the answer. I don't even like it's gonna make my Harris play feel worse too. God, it would have made the Melton thing made more sense.
Are you playing?
I'm still not there yet.
What are you doing with Thon Maker?
Not much. I'm playing them on DraftKings some, but not on FanDuel.
No, I know that. Okay.
I'll get over there in a second. Wow. I really like Tobias in this matchup. The problem is I'm a little worried. I like shooters in the second half of back-to-back, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it. I think that if I believe in the play, the problem is I think that there's a way that Ayton does nothing tonight. And I've already got him in one of my big ones on DraftKings. So I'm thinking it through. It does feel weird to get Embiid at this low ownership. As he's going to... Well, he'll have ownership. Sorry, let me not say this low ownership. He'll have ownership. Man, I'm a little perplexed here.
If Whiteside plays, you gonna have any of him?
No.
Okay.
But I was already planning on that as it was, but that was partly due to his ownership.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense to have Herter in the lineup with Tatum because you're counting on the minutes being there. What I would probably be and then back on Oubre again. So I'm going to look at my rankings real quick of my each player on my FanDuel. And is there really any reason I need to do this? I don't think so.
Another guy who I probably should probably have more of with Trae Young out is Collins, no?
I don't think it helps him.
Okay.
I mean, he's going to have a good... Like, he's cheap enough anyway to have him over here, but I'm just not playing that game stack, really.
Okay. I have a good one there.
I'm not so happy about this. This is what I'm leaning towards, the Bridges part of it.
If you play,
like it.
If you play Gobert on FanDuel, you're in good shape if when Whiteside gets ruled out there also.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why he's in my other one. I think I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to make this pivot. I'll leave the other one in the $77, the $66, whatever it is. But I don't think I want it in that one anymore. I'm going to have to do this in a second. Oh, shoot, we ran out of the tournaments. All right, I got to go to DraftKings and get shit. Oh, shit, I got to get Trae Young out of one of their lineup. It's pretty easy with the pivot on DraftKings from Trae Young. I didn't have that much of him to begin with on DraftKings. I liked him better as the...
Well, I don't know. What do? You have to... If you go down to Lillard, then you'd have to make up salary.
What's that?
If you go to Lillard, you need to make up some salary, right?
If I go to... I already have Lillard in all the lineups. I had Trae Young.
Oh shit.
That was my plan.
On FanDuel, you mean? On FanDuel.
Yeah, on FanDuel. Yeah, that was my whole plan was get them in the same lineup over here and try and get that 120 points from that position.
Right.
And I've sort of since obviously had to pivot. Let's see. I mean, what is Teague over here? God damn it. I got to put him in one of my big ones. Hold on. I'm going to check me out. It's too cheap.
Starting to get an awful lot of Gobert here on DraftKings.
Yeah, it's starting to make more and more sense to me too. God, there are so many. Oh my God, Josh Richardson. I didn't realize he was 4,300. I'm not going to play him, but yikes. Yeah, how many minutes is Josh Richardson going to play tonight? Let's see this. Hold on. Let me see what my projection is for him. Courtney Lee coming out of the blue.
Who?
Courtney Lee.
What's he doing?
He's starting.
For what team?
For Dallas.
I didn't even know he was on the team.
He's not going to play much, but that just gives you less love for the guards, which is fine because I don't love the guards except for Brunson that much anyway. Makes me like, I don't know, whatever. Let me see this real quick. Oh, we got Josh Richardson at 20 minutes? I didn't realize he had a 20-minute restriction. Jesus. Oh, my God. We got to get Teague, it's going to be impossible not to. French. That's frustrating.
What is his price on...
3,800 on FanDuel.
Jesus Christ.
So frustrating. All right, so let's get Teague. I mean, it's going to make him less owned a little bit on DraftKings, right? No, he'll still be owned. Oh, my God. He's going to be like... You want to talk about mega chalk? This is it right here. If you're not playing Jeff Teague in lineups, like, he's going to be crazy owned. Although maybe on DraftKings, and FanDuel, they won't think they need to do it.
Do we like Derek Jones Jr. tonight or no?
Fine, but I don't like his price.
I'm going to have to do some... I'm just finishing up my DraftKings, then I'm going to have to do what you said. I have to get a little bit of... I have to get some Teague. I mean, even though I only have 10 lineups, I got to get him in something.
Okay, we got... I don't want to see happen here.
Is that enough Goodwin? I think
back
that should
to
be
Ayton again. Here we go. This is the lineup. That's it. I like this one. Yes, there we go. I like that lineup quite a bit.
Dragic, Teague, Harden, Herter, Harris. That's what I'm looking at right now. Did you
Dragic, Teague, Harden, Herter, Harris, Oubre, Tatum, Hachimura, and Ayton.
Yeah, those last two is what makes it work.
Yeah, because you're getting off the chalk.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Hachimura, and Ayton, and that's right. That's exactly. I mean, it's a fairly. That's what you want, though, man. You know what I mean? Like, if Ayton outscores Embiid by 10, he could outscore him by 20. You know what I mean? Let's see. I just think it's hard not to play Teague on FanDuel. I really don't understand. I think I'm gonna just. Yeah, I really don't know. Like, the thing is, though, Teague or Nunn. I don't think Nunn is that far behind him. Makes Lillard way more off the board than he was.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, nobody's playing. All right, let's do this. Sheets, do you happen to see if there's any questions in chat or any thoughts or anything?
Celtics fan bias, at least 20. What do you think about Kemba?
No.
I was actually getting a little of him a little while ago, but there's just so much other stuff happened. I don't need it at 30 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think I don't want it. I don't know how to do this. I really don't. It's like toying with my everything.
Up here, Tatum.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna make that change over here.
Teague is 3,800. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I have a lot less interest in Josh Jackson or Gabe Vincent than I did before. Let's see. Goodwin.
Yeah, I would say that Teague is a little better than Kendrick Nunn.
It's close, man. I worry a little bit about Teague. I'm gonna have to get him in lineups, obviously, over like Bruce Brown, I think, but.
Fox, listen, none. I have none in every FanDuel lineup. So what I could do is I could get off of him in this one. I'll put Teague over here, leaving me 1,400, which means I don't need to play this guy. Boy, I want to, though. Oh, I can get up to Harris now? Oh, okay. Easy breezy there. Yeah, when you go from none down to Teague, you can get from Hardaway up to freaking Harris, which is kind of forced.
French. I don't know what
right?
to do, but yeah, I can't do it, man.
Oh, almost. You can almost do it.
You guys are getting a real in-depth look at what I'm doing here. Sorry, it's not the most fun maybe to listen to, but hopefully there's still people watching. I'm sure.
I'm sure
there
are people out there.
Yeah, 30 plus people watching. 30.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a couple of Teagues and a couple of Goodwins.
Put some Goodwin on DK, man. I'm telling you.
I have. I got, what do I have, a 10%, something like that?
Somewhere
Is that not
there.
enough?
Somewhere around there sounds good. No, I don't think he's going to be that popular. I mean, what are we at? We have him at 24 minutes?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, they can do some other things, too, like...
None.
Yeah, I would go a little higher, to be honest, on Goodwin. I think that he's actually a much better play than we initially were talking
I know. I'm going to play him a little bit on FanDuel also, because everybody will play Teague. All right.
I don't know if like FanDuel feels like that's a real balls out play right there. That's a big one.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I'll have 30% Teague. So I have 3 lineups with Teague, 2 lineups with Goodwin. That makes sense. Now I got 6-0 with none. Yeah. It's just so convenient.
I'm not optimally doing this at all.
I got here, then I can go up to smart.
So I'm using Turner as a pivot for some of my my what's it called lineups, my Cantor lineups on DraftKings.
Who's that?
Miles Turner. Marcus Smart, you get out of here. Actually, you know what?
I wouldn't do that.
It makes me like Melton less. Yeah, it's happening. What if I end up with 0 Cantor after all this?
Oh, really?
No,
Oh, my God.
not really going to, but it's just making it easier to get Harden, and fuck, didn't want that to happen.
Okay, so I want you guys to think that in about 15 minutes after lock, maybe 20 minutes after lock, I want you to imagine Sheets with a big thing of hot sake just freaking downing it, which is where he's going to be with his wife.
Nice.
And I'm leaving literally right now.
All right, awesome,
See you guys
man.
later.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming on, bud. We'll see you in a bit. Got plenty of time to adjust to the Miami stuff, so that's why I'm doing that right now. Just in case you guys were wondering. And then let's get Goodwin in one lineup here. No Swanigan anymore. Swanigan, you're out. Gobert and Goodwin. Goodwin, Dragic. No, we need, what's his name over here now? Fuck. Ah! That was a problem. I just had a problem with my 2 big buy-ins there. Guys, I got to run out of here in a minute, so I'm going to get out of here. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. I have to go make some edits. I know it seems like lineup's locked, but I've got a lot more things to do. Good luck, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.